Hi, Emma. Hello. Hi, Emma. I think it's just me at the moment, everyone. Hello. There you are. I think it's just me at the moment, everyone. Hello.
I'm so not technical at all.
Hello, Emma.
Hi. I've been talking to everyone for the past 21 seconds.
Oh, wow. I was going to do an introduction for you, but I was like, am I meant to be here? What's going on?
Hey, everybody. Hi. Thank you for being here. Good timing. Did you watch the behavioural panel?
Oh, did
Yeah. I think everybody's thinking the same. They're just like, they were expecting more. I
was expecting it to be a whitewash. I said to you before, I thought it was literally going to be a whitewash of Don, and it was.
But I mean, I don't know if you know, last night I was on Ziggy's channel. It was
No, I
like
didn't know.
5-hour live. Well, yesterday I said I'd go on, but then I fell asleep when I got in, and it was a bit of when we were going to actually do it. And then I woke up in the middle of the night, and she was like, "Oh, we're going live now." I was like, "Oh, okay." Jumped up. So we did that live. Now, it was full of people that were friends with Candace. So there was a lady called Jenna, and then there was a Dawn. There was a few people, and they were all like quite good friends. I mean, bestest friends almost, telling each other that they loved each other on a daily basis and stuff. So it was quite interesting, because even though I didn't completely agree that she is innocent, because I don't think she is, to be honest with you, I think it's her that did something to Summer.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
No,
Hi, Ro. Hi, Cameron. Hi, Viva. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Candace. Hi, Jency.
Hi, Candace. Candace and Cameron have been like my longest term mods and friends on this channel, supported me from the very beginning. So
Candace is lovely. She subbed to my channel.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, give your channel a shout out quickly.
It's Cat Chats Crime and Coffee.
Cat Chats Crime and Coffee. It's good actually to say that you've never had a channel before.
It's
really good.
Thank you.
So we'll get into the behavioural panel. We'll get into our theories regarding Dawn and Candace. But first of all, I just wanted to quickly mention, if anybody didn't know, I'm sure you all do, that Larry has been arrested for the murder of Maya Millette.
Yeah.
As you probably know, we had Mary Chris on our channel last week, and it was literally it was about 2 days or something, 3 days. We had this on we did this video, this live, and we had Mary Chris on, and about 3 days after that they arrested him.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know what was going on there, but it just seemed a coincidence. She'd not really been in the media for about a month or so, as far as I'm aware, and then suddenly she comes back into the limelight, and he gets arrested. So whether she said anything on the channel that maybe just completely, but I mean, they had so much information, didn't they?
Yeah, I think there was a lot going on. I think there was a lot going on behind the scenes with that possibly Mary Chris wasn't even aware of at the time. They have since they've arrested Larry. They've put out a notice asking for anyone that saw the vehicle on the 8th of January to come forward, because there's a period of time where Larry went off and left his phone behind, and he went off in the vehicle, and they have no record of where he was during that time. So there are posters around now asking for information about that Lexus.
Right. Well, you've got that picture. You've got a video with that. If anybody doesn't know the vehicle, that it looks like maybe Maya's vehicle. I'm not quite sure, but it was the last vehicle that they feel that he was driving that day. You remember when he said he was going to the beach for like 11 hours in middle of January with his 4-year-old? It just didn't make sense. So if anybody wants to see that picture of that vehicle, just go over to Kat's channel. She's got that on there.
Can also give you the information if you want it. I've got it written down. It's a black Lexus GX460 with license plate MAYLANI. And if you have any information about seeing that vehicle on January the 8th, they've asked you to call the Chula Vista Police, and the number is with the poster on my channel.
Yeah, so if anybody knows about that, it's strange because Chris said on the channel, I'm sure she said it on my channel, that they're keeping her very up to date with everything. They're being very transparent. I think that's what she said. And, you know, so there was a lot she didn't know.
She really didn't want to talk about Larry, though, so we didn't really push her on any questions about him.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility that she knew something was in the offing, but of course their priority remains to find Maya. They still want to find Maya so that they're able to lay her to rest. So
yeah, she did look quite subdued. So maybe she knew that an arrest was coming or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, possible.
But thank you to everybody who donated towards her. I'll just bring it up. Yeah, there was a website you could go to help find Maya Millette, and you could donate, and quite a lot of people donated and then left super chats. And you know, when that comes through on the 20, I think it's 23rd or whatever, I'll pass that over to the fund. So that was good, because they'll still need the money in order to search, won't they? Because she's not been recovered.
No. They're desperate for people to continue to search for Maya. I think Doug went out last weekend with his drones over to California, and he did say he would go back if she wasn't found yet. He would go back to help with the search, because I guess so important for her children to be able to lay her to rest. So, but I think that's one of the reasons why they're trying to track that car on that day, because they think that might be the vehicle that was used to transport Maya's body. And so if anybody knows where that car was at that time, it might give them a clue as to where Maya is now.
And you know, they must have had the dogs in the back of there, and they must have smelt something for them to feel that that was the vehicle that she was transported in. Those dogs must have tracked to that vehicle.
Yeah. I think it's Larry's been remanded until his arraignment, I think Thursday next week, is it?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more information, because that's interesting. For anybody that's just coming in now, me and Kat are just very quickly going over this week's kind of events, and then we're going to be getting to Dawn and Candace, Summer, etc. So moving on to Brian, I was trying to keep up with that yesterday, although I was like falling asleep and missed kind of the last bit. But I noticed that they put a tent up in the park, and they found something. So I was aware that it was a notebook and a bag, and then the tent went up, and I was saying from my experiences, the tent only goes up when there is a body or body parts, not for an animal remains, not for a bag that they found. You know, it's generally to hide a body from above so that people can't see, and to prevent any further damage or decay or anything to the body before someone gets there to look at it. So that's what I'm aware of.
So there was a press conference after that. Did you see the press conference?
I didn't see anything to do with whether or not it was him. So what did you get to see?
So they said that they had found human remains, but they didn't say anything else. They just said that in close proximity to the remains was the notebook and some other personal items, a bag. But I think they also found a dry bag. There was reports earlier, so the body had been underwater, or the remains had been underwater for some time. The father and the mother had gone out with the police to search this particular area that's been searched several times before. And the father, from what I understand from the reports coming out from Twitter, actually found the dry bag that contained some of his belongings. They think a laptop and something else. And then across the other side of the trail, the police then found human remains and his rucksack that contained his notebook. So it obviously seems that there's quite a lot of evidence in that area. So yeah, they're going to obviously have to investigate if the remains are his, because they've been underwater for so long.
Sorry to cut you off. Do you
No.
believe that it was just a massive coincidence and they'd not found him because he was underwater? Or do you believe that something was planted there? Because it just seems strange that part had been closed. It had already been searched. That park ranger, I don't know if you watched it on Molly's channel, but there was a park ranger and he said he'd covered every inch of that.
I know the water level had dropped quite significantly within the past few days. So at the time when he went missing, there was a lot of rain. It was very wet and the water level rose. But then the water level has decreased over the past few days. So that's obviously exposed the remains. But if you want my conspiracy theory, I can definitely give you that.
Yeah, go on then. Go on.
So his dad found a dry bag containing some of his belongings. Well, that park has been closed, like you said, to the public. And the day after it reopens to the public, his dad finds his dry bag in that reserve. I mean, what are the chances?
Yeah.
So my kind of conspiracy about it is that the father or the mother or both went back there and planted that because they knew he was there. They knew that's where his rucksack was. They knew that's where he was. So they went there, planted the dry bag, then led the police there the next day. I think possibly they knew that he was dead already. And they didn't want to implicate themselves by saying, oh, we know where Brian is, because obviously that would implicate them. But if they went out with the police and happened to stumble across this dry bag containing his belongings, it doesn't look so suspicious on them, right? Well, that's my opinion anyway. That's my theory that I'm working with at the moment.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of covering up with that family. I mean, you can just tell by the way she looks.
Yeah.
You know, she just seems to be very stone-walled, very like, this is my son and I'm going to do whatever it takes kind of look, you know?
Right. But then if they knew that he was there, because they told the police where he was, don't forget, they said he's in that reserve to the police when they started searching. So I'd got to the point of actually nearly going off my head every time I saw them searching that reserve. He's not in that reserve. Goodness sake, he's not in that reserve. And then it turns out he was in that reserve. But if they knew that he was in that reserve and that he probably wasn't alive, they've been out mowing their lawn and, you know, generally doing their gardening and all kinds of things you wouldn't really expect from a family that didn't know where their son was and, you know, were worried and concerned about his fate. So I kind of wonder, it makes me wonder whether they knew, whether they didn't care, why he went off in the first place. Was he being neglected? Did they do the baseline for him, like get him a lawyer and then they just left him to get on with it kind of thing? I don't know. There's more to this story than meets the eye, for sure.
Do you remember back looking at some of the photos between Gabby and Brian, and there was one where I don't know if he just proposed, and I can't remember the exact wording, but it did say something along the lines of together forever or something, till death do us part.
Right.
Now that stuck with me because I just thought, if he did something to her, because he did have all these strange drawings, and I think he was a bit psychopathic, to be honest, but that's just my opinion. And if he did do something to her, which I'm sure he did say till death do us part. I can see him being far too narcissistic to ever want to go to prison or ever, especially being this outdoorsy person.
Yeah, take his own life as well.
What's the chances? Because I don't think he is. I think he's too narcissistic to take a load of tablets. So what's the chance of him just laying down and hoping to get eaten by a gator?
I figured it's more likely to be suicide by handgun. That was more my theory. That I think after he left his parents' house, he must have been alone. He must have been alone for that time. And during that time, perhaps the reality of what he'd done to Gabby just became overwhelming to him, too much to bear. And he ended it because he was a coward, basically. I
Yeah.
mean, people that are narcissistic doesn't mean that they'll never kill themselves. They're cowards ultimately, and perhaps it just overcame him too much and he shot himself. But you know, I don't personally think he took an overdose. I think he probably killed himself with a handgun. If
Oh,
it
what?
is
And
him.
then the gator kind of had a good go.
Well, possibly, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of them around that area, and it was very wet, so the water level rose over his body. Because I was saying earlier, how did he go into the water and like kill himself and then, you know, get
Yeah.
found? But it's possible. And the other possibility is, of course, that the remains aren't his, and that it's just a coincidence that there was already a human body in that water, and his belongings were left there. I mean, that's unlikely. But I guess it's until we know the identity of the remains, I guess it's one of those things that you have to keep on the board.
Yeah. Yeah. But it just, I wonder if he'd said to them, look, I've got a phone. I'll keep in constant contact with you every other day or every 24 hours. I'll message you just one little number or whatever to say that I'm okay. And then maybe he stopped and they've thought,
Yeah,
you know, you just
something
don't know,
happened.
do you? We're just assuming. But yeah, it just seems
Well, he
strange that
had
they
a
closed the
laptop.
park.
If it is true that that dry bag has been there all of that time and that contained his laptop, then he had access to a laptop. I haven't heard that they've found a phone, but if he had a laptop, it's possible he was using that to communicate with people. I don't know.
Well, also, I was watching on Doug's channel, and I'm sure I caught a clip where he was saying that he'd noted that Brian had started following more people on, I don't know if it was Instagram or something. He'd started following more people. It was like 1 minute he was following like 146. Next day was following, you know, more.
Yeah.
And it just seemed strange. How would he be able to start following more people if he had disappeared? So
Yeah, I mean, he apparently left his phone at home anyway. So he'd left his phone behind in the house, and
he
his
could have
father
bought
had
one of
it. So
those
yeah, he could have got a burner
cheap
phone.
ones.
But I also heard that around that time he unfollowed a lot of people as well. There was a mass, but it wasn't certain whether he'd unfollowed them or whether they'd unfollowed, sorry, him at the time. I really want the results to come out about the remains because it'll be really interesting. I'm really sorry if you can hear any noise in the background. My cats are hungry and they're meowing at me, so I've got to feed them while I'm talking to you.
So we're going to move on. We've just very quickly covered the Maya and Larry situation. We've briefly covered what's been going on this week with Brian, the Gabby case, and now we're going to move on to Summer Wells and Donna Candace. So earlier on today, well, a couple of hours ago, I made this video. I don't know if everybody's watched it yet. Did get quite a lot of views in quite a quick amount of time. But
I haven't
it's
seen this
called
video.
Grandis's Home. So if anybody didn't know, Grandis is now home on Ben Hill Road.
Wow.
She came back just as they got back. I think she got home yesterday. So this has come from the friend of Candace, this Jeannie. Now, a lot of people have said they don't believe Jeannie. I mean, she seemed to be forthright, and I mean, you can take from it what you want. She seemed nice enough to me. But she said she talks to Candace every day, and she showed us proof that she speaks to Candace every day on FaceTime. And she when I asked her if Grandis was home, she was like she didn't really want to tell me, but then did actually tell me that, you know, Grandma is now home.
Wow.
So what's going to go on there, I have no idea, because she did say to me that if she got back and just looking for some pictures that I was supposed to have uploaded, she wouldn't be very happy if he was still drinking and what have you. I think that is what happened, but I don't. Oh, that's another one that I'm going to come to that in a minute. So yeah, Grandma is home. So what is that going to look like? I'll just go back to the comments. What is that going to look like? Obviously, I spoke to Grandma through messages. I put that out there. It got 60k views. A lot of people watched it. They all wanted to know what Grandma had to say. And a lot of what she did have to say towards Don was not favourable, shall we say. She made out to me that she felt that he was involved, but she couldn't prove it. She said that as far as she was concerned, he'd left work early that day. There was quite a lot, and I think from what I've heard from the friend of Candace, this lady said that when she was actually on the phone, she was actually on voice call to Candace at the time when my video aired about Grandma, and there was complete uproar in the house. Candace and Don went completely crazy. Don was calling her all names under the sun. They totally believed that it was her, because Don had said in a message to someone else that he believed it was her because of the way she was speaking, and the things that she said about him were the things that she would normally say about him.
Right.
So
spoke as well, like, because she was using talk to text, so you could tell by her accent and the way it came out in her text that it was her.
Yeah. So how's that going to look? I mean, is she going to talk some sense into Candace to try and get her to leave Don? I mean, she doesn't want to leave because of the kids. But having said that, is she going to actually get them back anyway? As we discussed in my previous video, you know, there's this query neglect, the state of the house, the parenting capabilities, whether there's any drugs involved, any criminal history that they've got, you know, everything that you could possibly think of in the comment section. Anybody listening, I'm sure you've got other things we could add to that list. And there would have to be more than just a few parenting classes, as far as I'm concerned, before they would just get those kids back.
Right.
I mean, we'd be looking at drug rehabilitation, mental health, parenting classes, you know, all sorts of things before they ever got those children back. Plus, the house would have to be completely sorted out. I mean, to say he's a spackler, he doesn't do much to his own walls. And I know. I've just got that from Doug. I think it's great. So we're going to talk, Stephanie, we're going to do the behavioural panel. I've got some notes about that, so I'm going to get to that bit. So, yeah, I'm just hoping that she talks some sense into Candace and says, look, come on now. You need to move out of here. We'll get somewhere else. We'll get some, I don't know what you do over there, whether it's some child welfare, something, you know, over here it's benefits. They call it benefit system. But she needs to be out of there. He seems to be controlling her every move. He's off work a lot at the minute. He's there a lot of the time. She said to her friend that she feels smothered, like she feels like she can't move, like he's always there. There's a lot of shouting between the two of them, a lot of arguing. Hi, Patty. And just you know, it's not looking good. But Grandis did say in the messages that when she got back, if there was any drug use going on, she just would not be happy about it at all, and she wouldn't be there. That's what she said to me. So hopefully she talks some sense into her and sticks up for herself with Don. And I just hope somebody cracks soon. And I don't know, what do you think, guys, in the comment section? Do you believe that Grandma knows more than she's letting on, or do you think she doesn't? Like, I don't know. What do you think, Kat?
Well, in my opinion, she was one of the last two people to see Summer alive, herself and Candace. I know you're going to talk about the behaviour panel stuff in a bit, but realistically, if Don was at work, we might all have to face the possibility that the only thing that he's actually guilty of is essay on his stepsisters. Because Candace and Grandma were the last two adults to set eyes on Summer. So regardless of what anybody thinks about Don and Candace, The facts are the facts. They were the last two people to lay eyes on her. They know what happened. Grandma and Candace know what happened to Summer. 100%.
Just give me a second, Cat. I'm just going to grab my cat. I'm up in the loft and Penny's taught it how to climb the steps, the metal steps into the loft, and it's meowing at me. Just one second.
No problem. I think our cats are having the limelight tonight. Mine have just been fed. Happy now. Happy and content. Yours are climbing the stairs. Yeah, I was just looking at the chat here now. Viber says Candace was the last to see Summer. Yes, she was. Candace and Grandis, the last two adults that laid eyes on that child. They know what happened. And if you notice, Don's spending quite a lot of time recently throwing Candace under the bus in really quite subtle ways.
Oh,
hi, Emma. Welcome back. I was just having a show.
Yeah, just take over. Oh, sorry about that. Gosh, I'm out of breath. What are we talking about? Oh, I've got a picture for you here. Look. So this was sent to me today. Now it does look a little bit screenshot, shopped, or whatever you want to call it, photoshopped, but see what you think. So apparently when Don and Candace got back, he's wearing the shirt that he wore when he went to the behavioural panel. When he got back, the first place he went, can anyone tell?
The shed.
The hippie house.
Oh, it's just when they got back from California?
Yeah, this was like literally the day they got back from California. He was seen outside the hippie house going, he's probably talking to someone there, look, on his phone again. And what became apparent last night when I was on Ziggy's panel was there was a couple of people that had actually been, was it Prayer Garden? She'd been talking to him like non-stop for months, and apparently he wanted to move in with her. Now, if he wanted to move in with her, apparently he was going to leave Candace and move in with this Prayer Garden lady. Now, if he was going to do that, my question to her at the time was, surely if somebody's saying they're going to move in with you, there had to have been some conversation about love or commitment prior to that, because I wouldn't just say to you, Kat, right, I'm going to move in with you tomorrow.
Would you not?
Well,
I'm so disappointed.
But you know, I wouldn't just say it. You just don't, do you?
No, you don't.
You know people.
But I mean, Don's not the height of being appropriate, is he? He's not exactly the, the person that's going to be the most appropriate.
So, yeah, he was at the hippie house buying his supplies, like you do. And have you noticed how he's like trying to keep Candace silent? He's off work a lot at the minute. He's not particularly... let me get that off the screen. I've got something to show you in a minute that nobody might have seen before. You're probably going to think I'm mad, but anyway. So yeah, he seems to be keeping her at home. She's not going to work much at the minute. Any money she earns, apparently he's taking control of. He's off work a lot at the minute. He says it's because he's doing all these interviews, but is it because his boss is slowly trying to release him? What's going on there? Candace doesn't speak. Is that because she doesn't want to, or because he's keeping her from speaking?
Well, she hasn't though since the beginning, has she?
No.
There's never been a time during this whole thing that Candace has willingly come out and said, I want to speak to the media. She spent all of her time hiding in the house and, off her face and all of these kind of things. It's not anything different. But what I do think I've noticed is that a lot more recently, Don's been sometimes subtly and sometimes not so subtly throwing Candace under the bus. Big time.
Yeah. I mean, when they did the what do they call them, lie detector test things, afterwards, didn't he say to the media, oh yeah, oh no, it said it's CM. He said, oh yeah, we passed, Candace had some weed in her system, but that was all. Now it turns out actually that he was the one that had more in his system, 3 different types of drugs. than Candace had. Candace had stuff in her system, but not as much as him. But yet he's coming out and saying, oh yeah, Candace had weed in her system, making her look like a dick.
Right.
When he's not even mentioning himself and what he had in his system. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think he's hoping to get out of this scot-free. I think that he thinks that if anyone's going to go down for this, it's not going to be him, because the problem is with Don is that he knows that he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison, and he said really early on, I'm not going back to prison. I am not going back to prison. So to him, he's got the most to lose. So I'm guessing subtly and little by little, he's kind of, by a process of attrition, chipping away at Candace, putting the focus onto her for this.
Okay, so I've got something to show you, and
cool, I'm excited.
Okay, I don't know what it is, but I've got it because I want to ask people if they know what it is. Okay. Right, so we've all seen the picture. Let's get this up. Let me try and get it bigger.
That's the staircase of their house.
The stairs, yeah. And all I've done is make it black and white just to make it easier. I'm trying to make it bigger. Wait a sec. Why is it so small?
Zoom in on it.
See it.
I can see. I'm zooming really, really close to the screen, but I can't see it.
See if there's anywhere. No, I'd have to remove myself from the screen. I'm not good with this stuff. Even if I do that, it's still small. Right, maybe it's
the picture's the same size. It's just the background is.
Okay, well, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Right, so this is the stairs, black and white view. Okay, so we're going to get a bit closer to what I'm talking about. So as you can see, they've made a hole in the wall there. The top of the stairs, you actually can't see the top of the stairs. That's like a cut out of the wall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it goes down. Right. And I'm just zooming in a bit closer here. Can you see anything on the wall?
Are you kidding me? I can't see anything, Emma. Where?
Can you see that?
Is it a light? Is it a light?
That line there with a bit of board over it.
Yeah, what is it?
I'm not sure, because the stairs go down and that's not the bottom of the stairs. The reason why I'm saying that is because you can see the kid's hand, whether it's Summer's hand. But so it goes down further than that. So this is on the wall.
Right. Yeah, I can see the hand now.
What is that?
Is a well, I can see the hand. Right, okay, that's better. It looks like a split in the wall, or
I just wondered, because I'd zoomed in on, I like to zoom in on photos just to get a better idea of, you miss things otherwise, don't you? And I just saw that, but it just seemed strange because it had a little bit of wood or metal above it. Now, I don't think it's the bottom of the stairs, because if it was, then why would there be a kid's hand there? It's like,
this wasn't this picture taken during the interview with Chris McDonough?
Yeah, so I mean, he's been down there, so I'm sure he would have noticed if there was anything strange. I just zoomed in on it and I thought, what is that?
Did you catch that said, is that a saw? Is it a saw?
Oh, do you think it might be a saw hanging? That's a bit of a strange place to have one.
Yeah, in the middle of the staircase.
Yeah, it just seems strange. If anybody else has got that photo anywhere, just have a look at it and see what you think. I've downloaded it from my phone, so that's why. But that was the original photo, and I just literally like zoomed in slowly.
When was that photo taken, Emma? Was that a still from the interview with Chris McDonough?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Because if it was, then that's not a child's hand at the bottom.
I don't think it was, because that unit that he had to climb under,
that's right,
was based on that wall there. covering that wall.
Yeah.
And they had to climb under it to get down. So I think this was when he was actually, this was one of the photos that came in the collection that I had of him doing the house.
Right.
You know, when he added the extension and everything.
Yeah.
So that's see what people are saying in the comment section.
Okay.
Do you have the colour version? Yes, I think I do have the colour version. Not right here.
Someone said it looks like a squeegee, but what is a squeegee, Emma?
A squeegee.
I have no idea.
Is that
squeegee for cleaning windows? But why would it be halfway down the stairs? I don't understand.
Yeah,
it looks like a panel to get either the electric or the water.
Yeah, it just looked like you could almost get through there. You know, it was almost like a hatch or something. But then I thought maybe I'm just making too much. You want to find things. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Missing girl, and you want to try and find things. So obviously, Donna says, can you ask Emma to read my post now if possible? Just looking for it, Donna. Donna. I'm going back a bit. I can't see it. Put it in again, Donna, and then I'll read it out. So I don't know, just a bit strange, but I thought, you know, I'll see what you guys think. Looks like a hatch lock panel coming away from the wall. Could be.
Just a really strange place to have anything like that halfway down the staircase.
I mean, if it was, and then why there? Why not a bit further up?
I mean, that staircase wasn't even wide enough really for Chris McDonough or Candace to walk down, let alone having something attached to the wall that would take up even more space in a really, really narrow space. It's just, I don't know.
Weird. But yeah.
It was a good spot though.
Yeah, I just, you know, I like to zoom into these things and see what I can find. And people say, oh, it's ridiculous, you shouldn't show that. I'm just asking, you know.
Well, it's good to be curious, isn't it?
Yeah. So let's
when you stop being curious.
Yeah.
What's left in life?
What is left?
That was my philosophy for the day. You're welcome.
I'm looking for Donna's comment now. She said that, but I can't see it.
Donna, can you put your comment up again? Because we can't see it.
With the photo being on the screen, you see, I couldn't see the comments.
I didn't see a comment come up on the screen. It might have come up in chat.
What have I written here? I've made a bit of a list. I like my lists.
You've got a little list.
Yeah.
Go for it, Em.
Oh yeah. So the church. So I've been told. Oh, Donna, wait a minute. Guys, tell me if I'm crazy. The lady on Lip Lock
No More Facebook that Don made with the child on the swing and the woman in the chair. Could that be the lady from Lip Locked No More in the chair? I don't think it is her. I know who she is.
I was told by Candace's busy mate, if you want to call her that, that the woman and her daughter were from the advocacy. Yeah, you know, like and they come and they actually stay there with them.
Really? Wow, who'd want to stay there? God, I'd be scared out of my mind to stay there. Crazy.
So she thought that the lady on the swing was Lip Locked No More, but we
know who that is. That wasn't her. We know who that is. She's a creator on YouTube, and it's not her. But it was possibly a good question.
Yeah, so I was talking to Prayer Garden last night. There was the friend of Candace's, Janie, and then there was Dawn as well. She was also a friend of Candace's. So we had a friend of Dawn, two friends of Candace's. And so I was just listening to it all. And there was a lot of hate going on in the comment section, really, first of all, towards Candace's friend and then towards this Prayer Garden. But, you know, we can all have our opinions about what happened to Summer, but it doesn't mean we all have to argue and fall out. I don't like
I get that. I kind of I don't really want to talk too much about Prayer Gardens of America, but she did troll several chats for like several weeks,
Did she?
incessantly, how much she loved Don and Don was innocent and we should all shut up and stop talking about Don, and on and on and on and on and on she went. Then she went on Ziggy's show and was basically bad mouthing Jeannie and Mary until Mary got up on the panel to confront her. And then all of a sudden, she did a complete 360 or 180. Sorry, I'll get my maths right. She did a complete 180 and ended up siding with Mary and Jeannie against Don. And it was like, who does that?
I know, I saw that.
It just feels all a little bit too convenient to me.
And Candace's friend, what was she called? Janie. She picked up on that as well, actually. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that it's not massively surprising that people are upset with the lady that is Prayer Garden of America, but by the same score, a lot of worse things happen at sea. So, you know, it's important that if you feel cross about something, you express it, then you take a step back, you calm down, we all hold hands and sing a Karen Carpenter song. Or something or nothing.
So if there is anybody in the chat that knows any of the family, or you know, if Prayer Garden's listening, or Dawn or Janie, you want to come up, there's a fly going past, I keep trying to get it, it's annoying me. If anybody wants to come up, just let me know and I'll drop the link. If there's anybody that wants to come up and chat to us, just let me know. So the behavioural panel. We all take a sigh. Go on, let's all do it together.
1, 2, 3.
So we all had high hopes. We all went in there thinking, right, this is going to be it. And M. Ray said she almost cried. I
almost threw my phone out the window. That's how upset I was about it. My phone almost landed the other side of the garden.
But do you know what? I came away with it smiling a little bit because my theory is that it's Candace.
Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of coming to terms with that now. I'm angry because Don seems to have got away with essaying Jeannie and Mary and 4 other women when, you know, he was younger. I'm angry that he's admitted that and said that she instigated it. But in terms of Summer, I don't think that there's very much evidence that points to him actually committing any crime on Summer on June the 15th. And I think that's possibly why he's sitting back now going, well, I know I'm going to get a whitewash from the behavioural panel. I'm pretty sure he's going to get an easier ride from Dr. Phil than people are expecting as well. And it's possibly because he wasn't involved. And if that is the case, then we're going to have to come to terms with it one way or another.
Yeah.
But I do think the focus should have been on Candace. And if Candace was on that behavioural panel interview,
that showed you exactly why she wasn't there. The one that wants to speak. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that he knows more than he's letting on. And I think he's heavily involved. I think he took her somewhere. But I think what happened to her revolves around Candace. That's just my opinion.
Right.
So they were asking him questions initially. As we know, they were like asking him this baseline. And apparently they said that if he blinked less, then he was more confident. But apparently we had to look out for him blinking more, increased blinking, if he was less confident about a question. So they asked him like normal questions first, like, you know, just talking about normal stuff. And they said, you know, he shouldn't be stressed out about that because it's just normal day-to-day stuff. But there were certain things that his behavior changed on. And apparently he seemed to be blinking more when he was mentioning David Dotson. I noticed that. And when he was talking about any of the people hanging around the property, i.e. drug dealers or anything like that, he started blinking more, which makes me feel that that's because that's a lie. And he knows what happened to her.
Yeah. He's using them to cover his tracks. Or to cover what he knows, I guess.
Yeah.
Deflect. Maybe he's using it as a deflection tactic so that people hear the words David Dotson, they hear the words drug dealers, but he's pushing his own knowledge away by putting those people in the picture. Because they did say something about that, didn't they? That they didn't ask him for that much information about those people, but he volunteered more information than he needed to, which was a sign that he was covering for something. It was about one of the only decent things they said during the whole interview, in my opinion. But
well, this is I hope Ziggy doesn't mind me using this. It's just one of the screenshots from last night, and it was between Candace and her best friend, and I think it was Candace that said it's okay. Did you tell someone that Donnie was home at 3 o'clock that day that Summer went missing? So the friend said, no, not at 3. So Candace said, what time did you say? And this best friend said, 3:30 or 4, but you didn't see him. I told that didn't come from you. And she said, okay. So she's there almost agreeing that Don was home between. So this is proof that Candace is actually saying that, yeah, Don was home between 3:30 and 4. Yeah, that's okay to say that.
Right.
You've also got Grandma who said to me, I think that's what happened, but I don't know for sure. And I also asked her another question, but I haven't got the screen. It's in my phone. Regarding what time he finished, she said that she felt he'd come home early that day. So, I mean, guys, what do you make of that screenshot of Candace saying that he got home that early? Because he's telling people that he got home, what was it, between 5:30 and 6 or something. Now, if that's the case, why is Candace okaying the message to her friend about people being told that he got home between 3:30 and 4?
I'm wondering if Candace is trying to cover herself as much as Don is trying to cover himself. Because if she can make it look like it was Don, then that puts her guilt behind her. I've been up to this point, I've kind of thought that they like had something on each other and that they were covering for each other.
I do think they're covering for each other, and I think the reason why they're sticking so close and he's going, oh, let me do all the talking, and she doesn't particularly like him doing all the talking for 2 reasons. One, because she doesn't want him to slip up, and B, because she doesn't want him talking to all these women. I think they are covering for each other, and if she goes down, he goes down, and if he goes down, she goes down, you know.
Right.
Somebody says, do you think Voldemort could have anything to do with it? Well, I mean, literally anybody could, I suppose.
Sorry, what are we referring to? Because Voldemort's a character out of Harry Potter, right?
He's Jodie Sue's ex, and he essayed her, I think.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah, something like that. That's how I learned last night. Emma, do you
possibly? I mean, there are possibly other people that could have been involved, but I don't think we should move the focus too far away from the adults that were there when it happened, to be honest.
I agree.
That's just my personal opinion.
Victoria says, Emma, do you think Don and Candace really trust these new friends so much they give all this info? Well, I've spoken to these friends, and it's pretty obvious that they're doing this for Summer, and they've even actually admitted, we are doing this for Summer. They are in touch with the TBI, and they are passing over any information. I've also spoken to Cher behind the scenes, and you know, any information she gets, she's passing over to TBI. As much as people think she's not, she apparently is. So you know, that's that. What else have I got?
Oh, the portrait of Candace hanging on my wall.
Oh gosh. So
she is having a fag.
A fag. Yeah, you won't know that unless you're English. It's a TV program where this woman says, I am having a fag.
Why not?
Oh, good. So apparently he was shaking his head when he was disagreeing.
Right, and
He was
nodding when he was
telling the truth. And so they
right.
felt that that was a good sign that when he's telling the truth, he does these things.
I didn't agree with that at all. He was nodding his head when he said no and shaking his head when he said yes. That's just not natural. Who does that?
Well, they were looking at the body language, and he used his hands and stuff. More blinking. So when he started talking about, so they talked about everything else, and then when they got to the part where they were talking about the day that he, let me get that off the screen for Christ's sake. Jesus. Jesus. So yeah,
Thanks.
apparently. So having a minute. When he was talking about the day that he was at work, he was stuttering. And they said he was very fluent, like when he was talking about all the other things, when he was confident. But that day when he was talking about the 45-minute drive home, being in Jonesboro for work, he apparently started stuttering. And they said it was a simple question. It wasn't anything difficult. And they couldn't understand why, that was the case. And also a big one, when they asked him about whether he thought Candace was keeping anything from him, his answer, there was a delay in answering the question, and he just acted differently. They felt that there was something going on at that point.
Right.
But overall, they came back with the fact that they felt he was fairly telling the truth. But
Well, they said that they didn't think he was involved. Every single one of them. They went round the room. Every single one of them said that as far as they were concerned, they didn't think he was involved at all. Well, I know that that's not true. He might not have been involved in actually hurting Summer, but somebody had to dispose of her body or take her somewhere. And I don't think that that was Candace or Grandis. So although he may not have been involved, and also the pause when he was talking about Candace, that's another example of what I was saying earlier. He's subtly throwing Candace under the bus. He knew that if he paused at that point before he answered, it was going to make them question whether Candace was involved or not. It wasn't going to reflect on him necessarily, but they might think, oh, he paused before he said no. So was Candace involved? They're not going to think, they obviously think that he's mostly telling the truth, which is just utter rubbish. But
yeah, I mean, I thought it was well presented. The whole thing would seem to be well presented and fairly organized and everything. And they got a lot of super chats, and they did come out with some really intelligent conversation, and it was good, and it kept us interested the whole way through. But I think the end result isn't what everybody was expecting or wanted.
Well, do you know what, Emma? I seriously think you and I are in the wrong profession. Become a body language expert, because all you have to do is sit there and go, well, yeah, he nodded his head when he meant no. He shook his head when he said yes, but we don't count that as deception. We don't think that that's deception. That's just part of his normal behaviour, blah, blah, blah. I mean, how easy is that? How much money have they made doing this? It's crazy.
Yeah.
We're in the
Was
wrong
it
job.
part of the show then for Dr. Phil? Because one of the guys, he was sat in the studio of Dr. Phil, and I think a couple of them were. So was it part of the Dr. Phil show, the behavioural panel? I don't really know, to be honest.
Are they run by the same TV company? They said something about Paramount at the end. They said they'd like to thank Paramount Productions.
There's going to be a part 2. Are you going to watch it, Kat?
Oh, yes, for my sins. If I go and get my phone back out of the road where I chucked it earlier. I mean, it's kind of like watching a train crash happen in slow motion. You just have to know what happens at the end.
Now, I tell you what, if that was Candace up there, we would be getting a different story altogether.
Yeah,
I can almost guarantee.
I'm starting to think now, and I don't know whether this is the way it was designed, but I'm starting to wonder why Candace wasn't the one doing the behavioural panel, why Candace wasn't the one being grilled on the Dr. Phil show, although apparently she was on it. She just walked off of it. But
that's going to be the best
she's got
bit.
so many questions to answer.
I'm interested to know what they asked her in order to make her walk off. Like, at what point did she walk off? What were they asking her at that point? I'm really interested in that bit. So that's all I'm going to be watching it for. But to me,
think it would be. Yeah, carry on.
I think she is the one. I think something happened. She's got a temper. She's got bipolar. She's got all sorts going on. And I think she lost the plot. You know, we've heard before, Ali said that she made the kids lay down on the hot ground. You know, she's got some anger issues. We can understand why, due to her past and the way she's grown up. And I'm not making excuses for what she's done or done to the kids at all. But I think that she's possibly said to Summer that day, go downstairs. I've told you, you've been naughty, go down in that. And she didn't want to go down for whatever reason. And I think maybe she's been pushed, or there's been something that's gone on, and she's ended up not in a good condition. And I think Don finishing work early had something to do with it. And I think they're both just I think they both know what's going on. Now, Pepsi Girl says, Emma, did Dr. Phil really get her new teeth and is fixing their house for them? Okay, so the friend of Candace did say that she did have new teeth. I don't know if it was implants, but she did say she's had new teeth and it's given her a lot more confidence. But nothing was mentioned about them doing the house up. So I'm not really sure about that.
But I'm thinking that they're hoping that they're going to come, well, at least Don is hoping that he's going to come out of this clean as a whistle. I think he's being buoyed up by this attention. I don't think it's doing him any harm whatsoever in terms of his own narcissistic self-confidence type of thing. I think he's buzzing off the fact that he come away from that interview earlier with them all saying that they didn't think he was involved. That just feeds straight into his narrative completely, you know. I don't think it was, going back to just talking about why Candace might have walked off Dr. Phil, I don't actually think it would be that difficult to say something to Candace that annoyed her that much.
Yes, I don't think she wanted to be there anyway.
Exactly. She seems quite a fragile person in terms of her anger. Is she's so quick to anger that it kind of wouldn't matter what you asked her. You could quite easily tip her over the edge, I think. She scares me quite a bit, Candace, because she doesn't seem very self-aware or stable or in control of herself in any way, shape or form.
Well, Don and Candace are back home now.
And so is Grandis.
And yeah, if you didn't see my photo, the first thing he did when he got back, he's wearing the shirt there that he wore on the way home. And that's where he went, the hippie house, to get his
of course he did.
stock. So yeah, he is home. Grandis is also home now. I made a video about that earlier on. She's back on Ben Hill Road, back in her trailer. Okay, so
what do you think is going to be, say, going back to the Dr. Phil thing quickly, what do you think their purpose of this YouTube channel is? Because my personal feeling is that they were encouraged to make a family YouTube by Dr. Phil or the aftercare team or someone that's involved with them right now, because it seems to be being made. A lot of the videos seem quite professional filming quality. They don't look like they've just been filmed off an iPhone or whatever. And I'm wondering if they're hoping that after the Dr. Phil episode airs, that 50% of America who don't know about this situation already are going to think that they're the best thing since sliced bread, because look at this YouTube channel that they have, and look at, you know, how nice it is to see a child on summer swing in their nice clean yard, and all of this kind of stuff that they're making themselves out to be now. And I wonder how many people that don't know already about Summer after watching that will think that they're being unfairly treated, that they're being unfairly suspected. It just seems like they're setting themselves up to look good, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think Don's been doing that from the beginning, to be honest. Like you said before,
yeah, but he's let himself down though, hasn't he? So many times, like phoning up Chris McDonough and swearing and saying that Mary instigated the Jeannie instigated the SA and all of this kind of stuff. He's let himself down, sitting on the toilet during a live stream or jacking up or whatever he was doing. Like, he's made himself look so bad.
Do you know what I was
Yeah,
told
go on.
about that?
Go on.
I was told that he was that drunk on whiskey that he didn't know that he was still on live with Benny talking. And he went to the toilet to have a wee and he tucked it under, I think, so that he could go to sit down and have a wee because he's probably lazy. And he apparently wasn't jacking up. He wasn't having a poop. He was having a wee. And he didn't realise he was still on live because he was drunk on whiskey.
Right,
I mean,
but Emma, that isn't going on their YouTube channel, is it? You know, that's
yeah.
not going to be what the public sees after
Oh,
Dr. Phil
no.
announces their family YouTube channel and everyone goes to watch it and goes, oh, how could people say such a thing about these people? Aren't they wonderful? But in actual fact, they haven't seen what we've all been seeing for the last 4 months. The absolute shite show that, that they've put on.
Yeah.
Candace calling Mary, "Ah, don't you know, they haven't seen any of that, have they?
Oh my
It's
God.
crazy.
Hi, Scorpion. Scorpion's in the chat.
Hello.
And Sweet Stativa.
Sativa.
Oh, I can't
Sativa.
say that. I can't say that. Right.
That's
So Shelley has another question. She says, I have a question. How could Don risk going to Utah with charges pending there? I would have thought that's the last place he would go. Oh, I don't know when he went to Utah. I was told when he had those 2 days away from Candace that he'd gone to Nashville or somewhere, to a friend's house so that he could take some things that he shouldn't take.
Oh yeah, I don't think he's going to Utah anytime soon. Not unless the charges are dropped against him. I can't see him going back to Utah.
Yeah.
Can you?
No,
Emma
I
for
think
Prime
he
Minister.
wants to. I think he wants to. I think if it was up to him, he would move the whole family and everybody back over there.
Well, I think he'd move himself back over there and leave Candace to face the consequences of what happened to Summer. That's what I think would happen. But at the moment, he can't because of the charges that are pending. It's not sensible for him to go to Utah willingly.
So I've got this. This is what I found earlier on. I just had a little trolling session across Don's Facebook page, and you're going to be a bit
trolling Don again.
I've been trolling Don. Yeah,
with
your
my
perfect
life.
phone on my perfect sofa. Yeah,
your perfect life and your perfect dogs.
Perfect life on my perfect property.
Right. Come on, what you got?
Right. So look at these. Right. What do you make of this? Because I just find it all a bit weird. Let me try and get that comment off the screen.
Please tell me that's not Don in that picture.
Right. So hide that comment and you might be able to see it a bit better. So it's on his YouTube. Oh God, what's this crap? Get it off my screen. I'm just not this technical. Right. Back to the photo. Right. So this is on his Facebook page, and he's put a link to a YouTube video called Cemetery Gates. Okay, so video Cemetery Gates. This is a good song, maybe. I don't know. Some of you may have heard of it.
Don't commit to that if you haven't heard it, Emma. Please don't commit to that because we don't know.
Now, if it was just one, right? If it was just one, I wouldn't have even taken much notice. Okay, but look at the next one.
Nutshell.
And then look at this one.
Hey, wait, Nutshell. What was this one?
Alice in Chains.
Okay, someone's gonna have to explain this to me.
So he's putting a link in on his Facebook to a YouTube video. I think it's a music video called Alice in Chains. Right. We've already had the cemetery one.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got another one. Okay, I've clicked.
What's this one? Alice in
Another
Chains.
one. Alice in Chains. Another one. What's this one? Gravedigger.
Wow.
All right. So if it had just been one music video, I probably wouldn't have paid much attention to it. But because there was about 5 or 6, and they all had completely crazy names, I just thought we've got Gravedigger, Cemetery, Alice in Chains. What's this one? Gravedigger again.
It started to sound a bit like do you know the story of A Christmas Carol, where he sees the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas future, and they dig a grave for him at the end.
Yeah,
he's really bizarre.
Ozzy Osbourne, I Just Want You.
Oh, finally someone I've heard of. Okay.
Comfortable Liar, guys. Comfortable Liar. He puts that on the same days on the behavioural panel.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Get the next one. Demons are evolving. This is getting too real. Why is nobody talking about this? But I mean, like I say, it's just one.
Comfortable Liar. Wow, I'm so shocked about that one. On the day that the behavioural panel give their analysis, he's going to go post a video called Comfortable Liar. He's just sticking two fingers right up at all of us, isn't he? Again.
Yeah.
Again.
What is
to
all
Scary
that
Mary? That's what it says at the top of the post. To Scary Mary.
Oh, to Scary Mary.
Liar.
Also, that's basically trying to make out that that's to his sister then. To Scary Mary, you're a comfortable liar. But without actually saying it by adding a video. Wow. Oh, Mountain Girl's here.
Hey, Mountain Girl.
Hi, Mountain Girl. If you want to come up, let me know. So let me go back to the photos. So yeah, there was just too many crazy photos, and I just thought, like,
I'll tell you what, Emma, you're a better woman than I am to be able to go look at Donwell's Facebook page. I just find him so intensely triggering. I couldn't even look at his page.
You've got a 5-year-old daughter that's missing, and you're uploading things like Comfortable Liar, Gravedigger, Cemetery, Alice in Chains. You know, it's just, it just gave me the creeps.
He's dark for someone that professes to believe in God, which, by the way, the behavioural panel decided that they fully believe that he does love the church and he loves God. They fully believe that. But for someone that does, he's got a hell of a lot of darkness in him. A hell of a lot of darkness.
Hi, Mountain Girl. She says hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I think he has got a lot of darkness in him. I don't know if it's from his past or what. I mean, I looked on Candace's site. I couldn't find anything. She's not really posted much apart from some pictures of Summer. But his is just gives me the creeps. But I mean, what do you think about that, guys? What do you think about those photos? Do you think that's a bit weird when you've got a 5-year-old missing daughter to be posting things like that? Or am I just a bit crazy? Veiled threats. I mean, yeah, they are just horrible song lyrics. That is literally all they are. But it just, seems a bit weird.
He's gaslighting. He's trying to gaslight Mary again. By the looks of that title that he wrote on one of those of the post, then he's trying to gaslight Mary again.
If you are not subscribed to Mountain Girl 212, she is back again. She did disappear for some time, but she's back. She's got a new channel, so go across and subscribe to her. And also Kat.
Hello.
You've got a channel. Tell everybody your channel.
Got a channel. It's Cat Chats Crime and Coffee, and the and is an ampersand symbol and not the word and.
Oh.
I'll put my name in chat and then they will see what my channel is called.
Yeah.
I give a message in chat.
So Shell says interesting song choices about graveyards and death.
I mean,
I just love the attention, and you just think, was that just to try and draw up some interest because he just loves it when everybody's talking about it?
Well, it would actually be really interesting to see where his YouTube channel goes from now, because if they're not being funded anymore, or if they were, maybe initially funded by the Dr. Phil show, and it'll be interesting to see what content they make when they're away from California and away from that environment, whether they can actually keep it on message, keep it on track, because the fact that he's been to the hippie house, the first thing he did when he got home, probably hasn't had much in the way of access to drugs over in California. I don't know that for a fact, but the first place he's gone is the hippie house. And also, I think it was the night before last, he was getting drunk with a couple of YouTubers on his land
Was he?
at home. Yeah. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility that was a hiatus for them to go to California. And now they're back. Everything's going to go to shit again. It'd be interesting to see.
Hi, stay true. She was in Ziggy's chat last night.
Hello. Thank you for subscribing, Semdek. That's really nice.
I know, it's so nice, people.
Yeah.
Somebody says, Kat and Emma go beautifully together. You are both so calming with your voices. Oh.
We should read. I think you do read stories, don't you, Emma? You read stories on your other channel.
I've got I can't even remember the name of it now because my brain is done. But I do have another channel. I did put it in my community page. It's there where I just read children's stories, bedtime stories.
You know, I actually got told the other day that in America they pay really good money to hear British people reading stories for children. They actually pay people to do that in America. So do you fancy a trip to America, Emma?
Yeah, definitely. Should we go?
Let's go there.
Well, let me show you this photo. It's got nothing to do with anything really, but I went away recently. This is my dad. They say I look like him.
Oh, Emma.
He's like 70. He was about 72 or something now. And he struggled a bit as we were walking around, and it's made me a bit sad. But I thought I'd get some nice photos, while I was there.
Oh, how lovely. Oh.
So what else have we got? Yeah, so do you think that Grandis will get Candace? Oh God, that's Candace, bloody hell. Do you think she'll get her to leave or, talk some bloody sense into her? Like, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, this is what I was thinking when you said it earlier. I didn't know she was back, but the night before she came back was the night that they were up there getting drunk with the people that are staying on their land at the moment. So I kind of think nothing's really changed for them. They've been out to California, done a show, they've come back. I mean, her coming back now, what is she going to do that's different to when she wasn't there? She hasn't been there for the last 4 months, pretty much. So she's going to come back and say to Candice, right, enough is enough, let's go. I think that she's going to come back and have to either fit right back into that situation or I just can't see Candice going anywhere with Grandma. I don't think she's I don't think they're close in that respect. I don't know what the purpose of Grandma going back there is right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was told that she'd been told to stay away. I just need to say hello to Laurie. Hi, Laurie. I don't know who Laurie is, but hello. Laura. Is that your child, Scorpion? I'm not sure. Hi, Laurie.
Hi, Laurie.
Oh. Campsite View says it's freezing up here in Scotland. Oh God, it's been cold here today though. I've got the heating on.
The wind here has been absolutely Arctic today. It felt like it was like freezing. I mean, it wasn't freezing. It was about 50 degrees for people in America. That probably makes sense. But it was so cold. I'd been out with, I have to say, hardly any clothes on. I was going to a dance class. And so I was dressed to dance, but I had a T-shirt on. And I went out and I was almost dead. I was standing in the dance class shivering. And they were like, we need to do a warm-up. We need to do a warm-up. Even after the warm-up, I was still freezing cold. It's so cold today.
Nobody understands when they, live over in like California, what it's like over here.
Right.
It's so cold, and I work outside, so I have a jacket, but you kind of get used to it after you've been out there for a while, but it is cold.
Yeah, it's cold. I think the only people that I kind of feel are worse off than us sometimes is the Canadians, because I guess, it is cold some places in America, but realistically, the climate in Canada is worse than it is here. And I mean, it's freezing here. Oh yeah, they get. Have you seen how much snow they get in the winter in Canada? It's insane. No. If we get a dusting of snow, and I mean it doesn't even cover the grass, the whole of our country grinds to a halt. They have like 10 feet of snow, and they're driving around, living their lives, living their best lives, and we're like not even a centimetre of snow. And we're like, oh, I can't go to work. I can't go out. It's too dangerous. I must stay indoors.
The whole of England grinds to a halt.
Absolutely. It's crazy.
Scorpion says, word is Don's got a Dad Patrol shirt. Oh, brilliant.
No.
No. No way. Those people. Oh.
I can't with
Brandis,
that.
Candace, Dondus. Oh, no. Can't. Just can't.
No.
So, yeah, have you got anything else you want to discuss with us before we go, guys? We just thought we'd give you like a quick chat. We've gone over Larry Millette. We've gone over Brian Laundrie. And now we've just been going over Don and Candace and Summer. So if you missed the first bit, rewatch it again at the beginning and then you'll catch it. UK loves the USA.
We love you too.
Yeah. Do you think they've got rid of some of those dogs yet? Must be expensive trying to feed all those animals.
I mean, if those animals had any sense, they would have gone a long time ago. I wouldn't live on that land if I was an animal.
Do you know what I heard last night?
What?
I didn't know this. Did you know that Don, there was a cat in the house? You know that cat that was on Chris McDonough's show?
Right, I saw it with there's a picture of a cat with Summer, right?
Yeah, and they gave it a name. Does anybody remember the name? They did say last night, I've forgotten, but it had a little name and it was really cute and it kept coming up to Candace all the time. Well, I don't know what was wrong with it, but apparently it was a bit ill. It just wasn't right. And Candace was on the phone on like FaceTime to her friend. And Donald started trying to set the cat on fire.
No.
Seriously, no word of a lie. Yes, that's what she said.
That's disgusting. It's called Smokey the
Boots.
cat. No,
Smokey
that is
Boots.
disgusting. I'm sorry. No, that's not okay. That's
Smokey
psychopathic behaviour, that is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like absolutely appalled. I had to mute myself. I was like, oh my God. But then I came back on and I was saying, isn't that how psychopaths start? Like they start off when they're younger trying to injure animals and things like that. And then as they get older, they might like try and set fire to things. And then and then they start on adults.
And children.
But trying to set light, what was he doing? What was he laughing while he was doing it? Like trying to set this poor little cat.
Oh, don't, because I want to go over there and find the cat and bring it home. I can't. That's horrible.
Should we get on the next flight, Cat?
Yeah, let's go, because that's disgusting. I can't be taking that. Yeah, you're right, Susan D. It is animal abuse. And, he's not the only person in his circle that's had issues with that. In the past.
Slink says he was playing with a dog, Mary said. But do you mean doing something to a dog? Like something you shouldn't be doing? Oh my God.
Mary said he set a barn of animals on fire. Just ask Mary.
Yeah, she did say in an interview that he'd set light to. I don't know if it was his dad's shed or something and it had animals in it.
Oh, please. I can't do this conversation.
Is this where you leave, Kat?
This is where I'm going to go and hug my cats a little bit tighter tonight, I have to say.
We're both cat lovers, aren't we? I've got 3 Siamese. You've got 3. Have you got 3?
I've got 2 ginger toms,
Ginger toms. And so we're both cat lovers. We can't take this Smokey Boots being ill and being burnt. And,
honestly, I just kind of wish someone would go up there and set Don on fire. That's how I feel about him right about now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if people got back what they gave out, they'd understand, wouldn't they?
Oh, I can't wait for karma to catch up with them. I really can't.
Wow. Oh my God, listen to this.
So let's think happy thoughts.
Wait a minute, Kat, read this.
Okay. Where is it?
I pressed on it twice, but it's not coming. Wait a minute. It's coming.
Okay. So go and make a cup of tea while I'm waiting? Or?
No. Mary caught him. Yeah, he apparently put his finger in.
No. You're about to get demonetized. Don't do that. That's gross. Thank you.
I'm just used to talking about all this stuff at work, you see, not dogs, but just general stuff. So but yeah, that's just like,
what are you clicking on? I'm not seeing anything, Emma.
can you not see the screen?
Yeah, I can see me and you, that's it.
Oh, at the bottom, campsite
no.
view.
Oh, right, yeah. I thought you were going to show me something, that's all.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't realise that was what you were going to show me.
Yeah, that Mary had said.
Otherwise, I might have looked away at that point. Thanks.
To a dog. Yeah, thumbs up, everybody. We've entertained you for how long? An hour and 20 minutes, is it? So give us at least a thumbs up. We appreciate that.
This is a normal panel. And we're normal, Emma. Did
We're
you know
normal
that?
people, normal English women.
Wow, I don't actually ever get called normal. Thank you. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah, gosh, yeah.
Thank you, Amy Dawn, as well, for putting my link in the chat. I really appreciate that.
That's good. Yeah, definitely. Okay, guys. Well, that's kind of it for today. I think we've kind of left it on a note that we need to finish it on.
Yeah. Everyone hold hands and sing a Karen Carpenter song and we'll be good.
And you get a vodka and Coke.
Yeah, that would help. Thanks so much for having me up, Emma. It's been an absolute joy to talk to you, always.
Thank you. And thank you to all the mods. Mountain Girl said she's subscribed to your channel, Kat.
Oh, thank you, Mountain Girl. Thank you so much.
And everybody's saying goodbye. So, yes, that's really nice. Thank you, everybody, for helping out in the chat. And thank you for all your lovely comments.
Would you like me to sing you out?
Sing me out?
Yeah, sing a song and you can fade out.
Yeah? Can you sing?
Okay. I want to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
Do, 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 do.
There we go. Happy thoughts, everyone. Happy thoughts.
Right then, guys. Thank you. And we'll be back with you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.